Hello everybody, it's Nicky here. It's December the 31st, so obviously the last video of the year for me. I'm going to be creating some ATCs for a swap that I do with Crafty Individuals Stamps Facebook group. So I've decided what I want to do. It's going to be a bit of a mixed media thing. I'm going to be using some crystal paste. I'm going to be using a Sizzix stencil, which forms part of this Sizzix Studio designed by Cat Car, because there's birds on that stencil, and these are the modern birds. I know they're not the same birds, but that's fine. And I'm going to start initially with some grey board, 1.5mm grey board that I've just painted with black gesso. Right, to get started, what I'm going to do is get the base sorted out. So I've got some book page here. This is book page that I actually bought from, I don't know, Temu or somewhere, I think, and it's only on one side. So I really have trouble ripping out pages from a book. I just find it really, really difficult. I do have some old books, but I do find it difficult. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some of this distressed collage medium down, and then I'm going to, so I need to find my little brush that I do have somewhere. No, hold on, back again. So I've got this brush which I have used. It's a little bit stiff actually, and I'm just going to start by putting some of this on here like this. I haven't got enough, I don't think, to do the whole thing, but we'll see. I'll do this first and then just see where this takes us. That's a good thing about black, you can actually see what you're doing. Now obviously I don't want it, I'd like it to be a bit torn edge. Now all this is completely out of my comfort zone. I've probably mentioned this before. I love the thought of mixed media. I'm just not very good at it. I find it, I can't, I think it's the destructive side of it. I'm just not really very good. But I just thought we'd have a go. I watch loads and loads of people doing it on YouTube. You'd think I'd be used to it, wouldn't you? Let's start this over here as I glued that first. Let's take that up there. Do that there, and of course the idea, as you probably know, is to cover the background, because we'll probably be covering it over anyway. So do that. Let's rip these bits more than one at a time. That's it. And I won't do this so uniformly. I think I need a bit more, probably. Yes, I will need a bit more on there. It doesn't matter if it's upside down. I'm wondering if there's going to be any fireworks, because it's New Year's Eve. I've just thought, I wonder if there'll be any fireworks. No, I haven't got any animals, so thank goodness. They get so frightened, don't they? I just haven't thought about it. I think because I'm older, I'm not involved in all the, you know, the shenanigans that go on with New Year's Eve anymore. I won't say I'm past it, but it's been there, done that. Should we just say that? So it's quite difficult doing black and white. I will probably whiz this on. Hello, well that's now dried. What I've done is you can see I've cut it down the middle there. I want to save this for another project, so I thought I don't want to do the stenciling and everything over the whole thing because I'm only going to use it for 3 ATCs. So I've cut those off at 2 3/4 just so that I can tidy this up at the end. And then these are, as you may or may not know, ATCs are 3.5 by 2.5. So these are 3.5 here, and then there's a little bit left over. So now I can just concentrate on this area and then save that collage bit for something else. Anyway, I'm going to use this Sizzix Studio stencil on my, and this is the first time I'm using this stencil set, and also the first time I'm actually using this Sizzix platform to do the stenciling with. I've got other types of stenciling platforms now. How is it? Which is the best way? So, they're 3.5 by 2.5, so it's got to be this way. Okay, so let me just move this up to there. That's it. Because what I want, I'll probably just have to do it in 2 hits, really. Straight, put that there. It doesn't matter if it's not straight, does it? Really. So, yeah, 3.5, 3.5, that's 2. Yeah, make sure it's around the right way. Stick that on then. It's as simple as that. And then what I could do, I could just do the other down this end a little bit more randomly. First time doing all this, first time using this paste as well. Oh, it's got a little cap thing in it. Oh, it's quite runny. Oh, I'm quite surprised about that. I hadn't looked at it before. I can't find, I have a whole packet of spatulas that I bought, plastic ones, and all I can find is this ropey old metal one, which is the first one I ever bought, or these tonic ones, which I'm not so sure about really. So anyway, let's get going here. I'm not really sure how much I want to put on. Probably quite a lot really. I can always scrape off the remainder. Oh, nearly dropped it then. Obviously I don't have to fill in every single bit of it, but I'm never very good at this. That's why I don't do it very often. I normally just use stenciling or stencils just for a decorative, you know, using inks. But what I'll do, oh wow, that's quite thick. And now how shall I do this? If I just do, so obviously I don't want it to get in the way. I wonder if I can pull this down here and then just move it over like that. Pull this out. If I can get it to these 2 bits here. So this is the true, alright, yeah, this is the true beauty of it, is I can scrape some of that stuff I've already put on there. It's very gritty. Okay, that'll do, I think. Could put a little bit there. That's it. I don't know how long this takes to dry, but we'll see. Take that off. I think I quite like that. That's, hopefully that'll dry better than it looks, and there's quite a lot of texture, and there's some gaps in between, which is good, because then I can split the, oh, I don't know if you can see that, sorry, I'm talking about it. So as you can see, there's gaps in between, so at least then it won't all be stencil. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a little bit of a clean up and I'll come back. Right, well, hello, I'm back. It's now the 4th of January, so a few days later. My husband came home. This paste took forever to dry, so I just left it. I just thought, there's no point in trying to dry it with a heat gun because they then bubble up and everything, so I just left it. Then we went away, blah, 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 so I've decided to leave it, and now I'm coming back into it. Anyway, so my thought process is this. I think what I'll do, it's meant to be black and white. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use a little bit of gesso. I've invested in one. I saw these. I was watching a video on YouTube. It wasn't this brand, it was a different brand, but I just went to Hobbycraft and bought these. And they're tear-off pallets, because the cleaning up sometimes is a pain, isn't it? So I thought what I would do is use it and put a little bit of white gesso on here and water it. Oh, that was rather a lot. I don't need anywhere near as much as that. But water it down with some, and I think I'm going to move some of that out of there because I don't need that. It doesn't need to be that much, but just water it down a bit. I don't know if you can see that. Just water it down and just brush over it. I've got a little plastic thing under here to protect my mat, because what I don't want to do, these aren't as opaque as I thought they would be. They look more like crystals, but what I want to do is to keep the book page so that you can still see the book page, and obviously not paint it so it's completely opaque. It needs to be so it is slightly translucent. Again, this is a complete trial and error thing. I've never done this before, so we'll see what happens. I think, and the whole idea is of this, what I should have done probably is just use my ordinary paste that I've got. A, it would have dried quicker, and B, I've actually now gone over the sparkle bit, so that was completely pointless, wasn't it? Never mind. No. So again, now I've got to wait for this to dry, which shouldn't take too long. Normally, when I've used paste before, they've dried really, really quickly. The Tim Holtz paste dry really quickly in other brands I've used, but that was quite a long time, and it wasn't cold in here at the time, so I'm not quite sure why it took so long. Anywho, I'll let that dry, because the next thing I want to do is I want to blacken the edges. And then start let's do some other bits and pieces like the stamping and things that I've said that I was going to do. So bear with for the time being. Okay, so I'm back. It's dried. I did use my heat gun, my heat tool, and actually I dabbed off some of the paint off of that because obviously it's going to take too long to dry that. So let's get back on with what I'm meant to be doing. I always cut, when I receive these stamps, when I buy them, if you buy them, when we used to buy them off of Create and Craft, they come already with the mounting foam on, but if you're buying them directly from Crafty Individuals, they sell them without the mounting foam, and then you can use the foam or not. Some people don't like using the stamps with mounting foam. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to randomly pick out a couple of these birds. I quite like them, and I'm going to, there they are, four birds. I've also got the other mark making type stamps that I was thinking of using here. These ones, so we'll see how we get on with that. But I have to bear in mind everything, it has to be black and white. I'm quite used to just colouring bits in now, so I'll get some of these out rather than using a. I do wonder whether I should use a stamp press. We'll soon find out, won't we? And they're not big enough. Let's use that one. Okay, let's use that one initially. And see. They're just random. Okay, what do I want to do? Or what I could do, actually, is do the mark making and then make these and stick them on top. That's what I'm going to do. That's a good idea, Nicky. So, this is my favourite mark making set because it's quite random. So, in which case, I need to get the other bigger what's it out, don't I? Let's just use that one. Okay, so, I've already taken the stuff off of that. I'm going to use VersaFine because I think it's not too. You tend to get a clearer print, I find. Other people might say differently, but that's exactly why. And then I'm just going to go over it, and it's really not rocket science. Ah, love it. I just absolutely love these stamps. and red rubber, you always get a really good imprint. I'm going to bear in mind that I'm going to be straggling two different cards. Also, this is the width and that's the length, so I have to really take on board that, because I keep doing it from that angle and it's actually this angle, so I'm just going to do it so that you can see it, so that it's not all upside down and inside out sort of thing. And in fact, yeah, that's the right way to do it. So done enough of that one, so we've got one on there, so we've got one of those all the way through. I've got some diamonds and circles, so let's do some diamonds. I think diamonds might be quite nice to do. Let's stick that on there. Oh yeah, that one has actually got the thing on. It doesn't look like I've used this, but I have used it. I've just obviously cleaned it very well afterwards. So although this stamp actually looks like from there, it kind of looks like it's just going to be plain diamonds. It's not. It's got like little I don't know if you can see that, but little marks in it. So let's do a bit there. Nice. And let's do a piece up here. Now obviously where I'm going over the raised area, you're going to get, oh, that's not too bad. And then where else? So that's one, that's one. I'll do one down here. And they look more harlequin than I thought they looked, to be honest. So let's do this one across here. There you go. I like that. I think I like that a lot. So, oh, excuse me. Let me just wipe my stamps clean. That's it. That's those. Okay. Let's put those up there. Get out of the way. I've had this old sandwich box tap for a couple of years. It's quite strange. I don't know. So sometimes you can just use something, it just works. I don't know what I've done with the other bit for that. It doesn't matter. Okay, now to decide. So we're going to have one there like that. We don't want to overpower it. One like that and one like that. So I think probably the next stage is just to do these so that I've got at least one bird per... Now there was something else I wanted to do. Oh, I know. I was going to. So I've got all these out as well, and I was going to utilise these. And my thought process was to use these and highlight the bird within the... so cut one of these out and then highlight the bird within that. I think I'll do that. I won't make you watch it, because obviously it's like watching paint dry, literally. So I'll do that and then I'll come back to you. See you shortly. Hello everyone, I'm back again. What I did, I'm sure you didn't want to see me stamping things and you know, cutting out. So what I've done, I've gone ahead and I cut one of the dies that I was showing you, the die sets that I was showing you, which is Lou Collins. I really like Lou Collins textures, Vintage Travel. I've got a feeling that she's still got this out. So I've used the photograph thing there. I've also used 3 of the stamps out of here. First time I've used them. They've stamped beautifully, and I actually used this Hero Hues, which is a really good white ink, but this is very, very juicy ink pad. So I was a bit concerned. I then thought, should I use clear embossing powder, clear embossing ink and white embossing powder? So I tried it anyway, and then I cut them out no, I'm not good at fussy cutting. I use my scanner cut. I also, from the other bits and bobs, so I just wanted to use some bits. So there's a rose on here. I don't know if you can see that. There's a rose. So I made a black rose, a bit of Tim Holtz will use hot glue. I have got a hot glue gun. I don't like using it. I burn myself. I get strings everywhere. It's rubbish, really. I've also cut out 2 of these. So my thought process was I'd have at least 1 bird on each of the ATCs, and then I'd have these different elements. I've got out again. I bought this in the sale, Sizzix sale, Luster Wax. I do have the original. This stuff. It's got a petroleum kind of smell, but I like this was in a set and it was quite reasonably priced, so I use that. Smells beautiful, smells of oranges. I literally just used the bit. I haven't put my finger in there. I literally just used the bit in the lid to go over. So I'm slightly cheating because it's only meant to be black and white. But I'm going to put a little bit over there, and I've put some on this ladder. So now it's kind of just compiling and deciding how I want to do that. I'm also going to, once I've cut them up, I'm going to black the edges, and of course I'll show you that. I may not show you cutting them up because this is going to be uber thick and I need to use my guillotine really, but anyway I'll show you them once they're cut up. So my thought process was initially to just do this across here so that you end up with one at the bottom there, and then a couple, well, a half, probably 2.5 in the middle one, and then one at the last one. And I just can't make up my mind whether to cut them up or... But actually, the placement of that one is quite nice because you're just at the bottom. And then I could put the bird in there and then use, you know, some other bits and bobs if I wanted to. So let me think what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to glue this down. The perennial problem with when you've got different textures and things is what glue should you use. So I've been using... this Nuvo glue from Tonic with this glue gun, and since I've been using this glue gun thing, I've really got on well with it. It is quite a good glue, but invariably I'll try it, but invariably I would use something like one of these other type of glues, either Beacon 3-in-1 or the Collal, because I find that they're quite strong glues. But I'll have a bash with this one, see how we get on. If not, I'll have to revert back, but I'll see how we get on with that. And don't worry, I'm not gonna, I will whiz this piece up so that you're not, you know, dying of boredom. Right, let's just get this on here. And I think one of the beauties of this is when I used to use wet glue, I used to get covered in it. Just not very good. I think it's because I'm impatient and I don't want to do things slowly. So, as you can see, I'm holding it in one area and I'm getting the glue all over me. Yeah, I managed to get it on the card in the other areas. I don't know what it is. I'm just clumsy, I suppose. And I like, that's why I can't knit. I like things to happen quickly. Knitting is far too slow. I love this little thing, this little glue gun thing. But I don't do enough crafting to leave it like that. So at the end of this session, I just put the cap on and then just put it away somewhere. So bearing in mind, that's my 3.5 there and that's my 3.5 there. I want to make sure that I get at least one of these ladders in each section. So if I can go 1.5, and I just feel I need to do it at an angle. So that's going to be 1 and a bit. That'll be 2, and this will be, yeah, I think that's going to work that way. So let's just push it all down, especially over these lumpy bumpy bits. You can't really see those, can you? I might highlight them with a bit of black, you know. Perhaps I should have done that before I stuck this down. Just because you can't really see what they are. I don't suppose it makes any difference, to be honest. I don't think anybody's gonna take me to court over it. I do like making ATCs, and I think one of the reasons is they're small. It's just small, and then when you when you're in a group and they give you direction, just makes life so much easier. Now what I'm going to do, and I didn't do it beforehand because I already did it on this one, as you can see, you may not be able to see, but is I'm just going to put a little bit, tiny bit. I love gilding wax, and I don't do enough crafting. That's the problem. The curse of the working classes and all that. So I'm not going to, obviously, because I think if you completely cover it, you lose the value of the black. So I think that'll do. Now you saw how tiny that was. It takes me longer to clean my fingers than it does to actually do it. So, decision making. So right, I think what I need to do is cut it. So I'm going to go over to my guillotine. So I'll pause this. Okay, so I don't know. Okay, that's the bit I've cut off. So I've cut them into 3. It was like that and like that. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Which makes life a little bit easier. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to ink the edges. I need to buy some more sponge applicator things. So anyway, I'm just using distress ink, the black soot, just going around the edges. So it's interesting because on this one I've cut off all the bit at the bottom. It doesn't matter. There's it makes it look like there's a bit of everything on everything. So I'm just going to look how that completely transforms it. I will have to, I haven't dug one out, but I will have to dig out a wordage or something to put on here. Probably just saying something like black and white, I don't know. And I'll do that at the end. I won't make you sit through that. Just finishes it off when you do that, doesn't it? I think I'm not quite sure about this Sizzix paste. Perhaps I haven't used it in the right way. Perhaps I should have just used ordinary paste, but it gives it a bit of texture. But obviously the beauty of the Sizzix paste is that it's got a sparkle or a lustre to it, and you can't actually see that because I've painted over it with gesso. Anywho, let me just wipe this because it's little bits. Yeah, okay, yeah, so let's get this done. So it's like that, isn't it? That's 1, 2 and 3. Now, as I said to you, my idea is that I'll put a bird on each, but I haven't decided where yet. And I just think I'm going to mount it up, I think, on a bit of foam. I think I will probably put him down there and this one in the middle. You can see that. So my mat looks a bit wonky, doesn't it? And then do that. Is that straight to you? I can't seem to get this straight on my thing. And then just use these. I just thought I would use these Sizzix bits and bobs to just add a bit more oomph. But I also need to add something else from Crafty Individuals, which will probably just be a word. So let's stick that down there, I think. And I think that kind of meets the theme of black and white. I'll go off and stick these down and then I'll come back. Okay, so I'm nearly done. You saw this part. I found some Crafty Individuals words. It's just one stamp. Basically what I do is I just stamp them out. I emboss them in clear embossing ink, and then I just stick them in a drawer so that I've got them always available. And because they're always the right size for their projects. That's what I like about them. That one is CI 468. So what I'm going to do, I've put a black these pads on the back. I won't just rely on the ink of that's going to be attaching to here, because oops, move that out of the way, because they dry out, I think. So stick that on there, and then my view was to, I think I was going to put this one down here. He was going to go down there, he or she. Then I was going to put the words either there or up there. And then this, I was going to abandon this, but I've changed my mind now. No, that's right. So I'm going to put this like this up here, just to fill that corner, and then I'll do the words. So I think if I do this first, then just dab a little bit. Stick that in there. I normally use my tweezers, just because that's it. It doesn't matter if it's slightly over the edge. And then spread your wings and fly. What I didn't want to do is I didn't want to cut that piece off there, so perhaps I'll do it over. Oh, where are we? A bit top heavy. Let's have a, I think I'll stick that in the middle there. Decisions. Part of the problem is you've only got 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches, so these are the oldest tweezers you've ever seen, and my first ever tweezers, but I really like them. So there we are. I might cut that top bit off. So that's the first one. I did dig out some, these are so old because I don't tend to use gems. I did dig these out. I might see if there's room for it, but I probably won't use them. Right, the next one, I think he was going to go in the middle, and then I was going to put this one at the bottom. Oh no, yes, that's right. This one at the bottom, and then perhaps put the wordage up there. I think. How was I? How was I going to? Or was I? Oh no, I was going to do it like that. I think I'll do it like that. It feels a bit more balanced. So let's stick him down first, because obviously he's the most important element. I say a he, it could be a she. Now these are lovely when they're coloured in. It's the first time I've used them, but obviously Crafty Individuals has a design team, and you see some wonderful things that they produce. I'd love to be on a design team again. I've been on a couple. It just gives you a focus, and you get to use your stash when you're doing. I don't make many. I do very rarely do any commissions anymore, because that's not my life. I don't. That's not part of my life really. I don't go up to school. Don't do things like that. So I'll stick that there like that. And then this one, he's going, I could stick him up there actually. And I was going to stick this down here, and then I could put that in there. I wanted them all sitting in, yeah, I'm going to put him up there, because I wanted them all in different positions, so that they weren't all the same. As I said, this actual ATC swap that I do, they only ask for one ATC, but I've made ATCs for a long time, and generally you make a set of 3, and then you make a wallet to put them in, which is what I'm going to do. And normally you use so for the wallet you would have some more of this, and then so that it's got some sort of order to it, so it makes sense. There's a link. Like this little black rose. Again, I'm going to have to hold that on there, because obviously if you were using hot glue, that would... I'm never very good with it. I don't know if everybody is. Also, I found that with the hot glue, it doesn't stay on there forever. Not that people keep things forever, do they? But you know what I mean. Because it goes brittle. I'll stay it on my fingers full of glue, as per normal. Where shall I put that? I think I'll stick that there. That's it. I think I've successfully met the brief on using CI Crafty Individuals Stamps, which I have. I've used, to go through it again, I've used the words stamps, I've used the birds, and that's only a few of the birds. I've got a lovely jug, that's CI 655, and I've used the this one 542 Mishmesh, that's called, and I've used this one CI 171, which is one of their earlier stamps, plus some bits from Tim Holtz, one lot of Tim Holtz, which is this one, which is 666607, and I think this is the Vault. This is the Vault Boutique. So these were just released last year. There's different versions of them. And Lou Collins Textures Vintage Travel Film Strip. I hope you've enjoyed this, watching this. I was making that anyway, so I just thought I would jump on. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now. Oh, I always do this last because I forget. Would be lovely if you would subscribe. You won't win any prizes and I won't make any money, but it doesn't matter. If you could subscribe and like, it'd be good if you could like the video. Thank you very much. Bye.